If you clicked on this video, then I bet that you have an Instagram account with less than 10,000 followers on which you would like to increase your engagement. If that is you, then you have come to the right place, because in this video, I'm gonna be sharing 3 really important strategies for increasing your engagement when you are still a small creator on Instagram. At this point, we probably all know why engagement is so important, but just in case you're new to it, I'll tell you why really quickly. The Instagram algorithm shows your content in your followers' feeds based on how engaging it is. When you first post, that post is going to show up in the feeds of a small sample group of your followers, and depending on how much they like and comment, share, and save that post, the algorithm will then show that piece of content to another large group of your followers and see how they engage with it, and so on and so on. Therefore, you want to make sure that you're getting high engagement so that more of your followers can see your content, and it also increases the chance of your content showing up on the Explore page where you can find new followers. At the end of the day, engagement is important because it helps your growth on Instagram. If you don't have a very good engagement rate, it's unlikely that you'll be able to grow very fast. It's also important if you ever want to do any brand deals or sponsorships on Instagram, because brands are always looking for influencers with a highly engaged audience. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump into the 3 strategies that you need to use to increase your engagement on Instagram. Number 1, you need to start by engaging with your current followers. Why is this important? Because engaging with your existing audience turns followers into fans. It makes your audience even more loyal and likely to engage with you next time you make a post. But the real question is how. What are the strategies that you can use to engage with your existing followers? Lucky for you, I've got a bit of a checklist. First of all, you can start by checking out that list of people that have liked your latest pictures. Go through the list of people who liked your photo and go to some of their profiles. Take a look at their photos, read through their captions, comment on some of their pictures in a meaningful way, and start a conversation with them. If you find something that you have in common, let's say you love the same sports team, or you both really love the color yellow, send them a DM and tell them that you have that in common and ask them something about themselves. The list of people who have liked your most recent photo is like your warm leads, the followers that are interested enough that they see your content in their feeds and they're willing to like it, but they might not be on commenter level yet. So you can go to them and comment on their photos, interact with them, and build a relationship with them so that you actually get to know each other and become friends, and they'll be more likely to engage and maybe actually comment next time. The next thing you can do is actually start interacting with followers from the moment that they start following you. So go over to your notifications tab, see who your most recent followers are, just scroll through until you see that little blue follow button on the right-hand side, and that's how you can easily find your new followers inside your notifications tab. Do the same thing, go to their profile, take a look at their photos, comment on some of them, maybe send them a DM and say, hey, thanks so much for following me. If you ever have any questions about insert your expertise here, then I'd love to help you. Just send me a message. My inbox is always open. That way you start interacting with a new follower from the very beginning, so they're more likely to be a highly engaged follower from the start. And the third point on this checklist is to engage with people who engage with your story. So you can create a poll or a question box or a quiz, and you can actually go inside of your story insights and see who's interacted with that poll or with that quiz. You could even create a poll that's like, hey, do you want to chat with me about how to improve your Instagram? That would be an example for me, but whatever makes sense in your niche, ask your audience, would you like to have a conversation about this? And they can vote yes or no. And then you can literally go through the people who have answered yes on your poll and go and send them a DM. Now, when it comes to reaching out to people, your existing followers, or anybody else on Instagram, it's important that you do this in a kind way where your intention is actually to provide them value. I'll be honest, there are a lot of people on Instagram that do a lot of sort of cold DMing or commenting on people's photos in order to sell them something or groom them to join their pyramid scheme. You don't want to come across that way. You want to make sure that you're always being genuine, and that the reason why you're messaging them or commenting on their photo is because you actually want to become better friends with them, not just because you're hoping that they'll buy your ebook or buy from you or whatever. That's not what we're trying to do here. When it comes to Instagram in general, it's all about being genuine and having the right intentions. So just make sure that you're not being sketchy about this. So that is the first strategy. Engage with your existing followers. And if you use this checklist, I promise you will see an increase in the engagement on your content, because when you put yourself out there to become better friends with your existing followers, they're gonna be more motivated to be better friends with you. That brings us to number 2, which is engage with potential followers. This is different from the first strategy because instead of taking what I would call an internal approach, which is becoming better friends with your existing audience, we're gonna take an external approach and actually go out and find people who have not hit the follow button yet and potentially convince them to follow you. And again, just like I was saying with the previous point, it's important that you're genuine and that your heart is in the right place and that you're wanting to offer value and build relationships and not just do this because you want to see your numbers go up. And if you have a niche that you connect with and a mission that's important to you, then I'm sure that will come naturally to you. So why is engaging with people who are not following you yet important? It's because those are the people that could turn into followers. This is the engagement work that directly connects to growth. Now, how do you engage with people that are not your followers yet? There is an important formula that you need to put together for this to work. First of all, you need to know who your ideal follower is and where they spend time on Instagram. And then you need honest, meaningful, and genuine interactions with those people. When you put those together, you're gonna get new followers. So where are some places that your ideal followers might hang out? It could be in certain hashtags, it could be in certain location tags, it could be on the profiles of other influencers that are in your niche. Think about who the kind of person is that you would want to follow you, and then ask yourself, where are they spending time on Instagram already? Go to those places and engage with people, leave meaningful comments, provide real value, and make real friendships, and people will respond in kind. Every time I do this, every time I go and I comment on people's photos in a certain hashtag or on a certain influencer's page, I always see a few more followers come in. And I'll be honest, this is not an overnight solution. You're not gonna get 10,000 followers overnight by doing this. It takes time, but everything good in life does. That's how you build real relationships with genuine followers who are actually going to engage with you. Any method that gets you thousands of followers overnight is going to result in a very unengaged audience. Something that I love to use for this is a platform called $80, which connects with your Instagram account. You can set up target locations on Instagram, such as hashtags, location tags, and different people's profiles. And $80 will show you a queue of posts from those different locations that you can then engage with. It's all super easy to use. If you're curious about that, I can link a video that I made about that a few weeks ago, and I'll link it in the description too. But you don't have to use $80. You can also just use your Instagram app and search up hashtags and comment on posts. It's as easy as that. It doesn't require anything special, but I just find $80 is a fun way to do it. Okay, so that is our first 2 points. Engage with people that are already following you and engage with people who might start following you. That is going to help increase your engagement rate and increase your following. The third point in this strategy, I'll be honest with you, is going to be the most helpful one. The first 2 things are important, but if you don't have number 3, then it's all going to kind of fall apart and not work like you think it should. So keep on watching for that. I promise it's very important. But first, we're going to have a quick 45-second ad break to thank our sponsor for this week, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of classes for creative and curious people. Whether you want to learn more about social media marketing, photography, content creation, video editing, and more, there is a class for you on Skillshare. You can even find classes from some of your favorite YouTubers. Lately, I signed up for Nathaniel Drew's course on Skillshare, but there are so many others. I can promise you'll find some familiar faces, which is lots of fun. Unlike pricey in-person workshops, Skillshare offers an affordable option for learning new skills. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. And after that, an annual membership works out to be just about $10 a month. Join Skillshare today and keep on pursuing those creative passions. The third and final strategy, which is probably the most significant one, is to create honest and vulnerable content. I know this might sound kind of abstract and you're probably like, okay, Katie, but how do I do that? And why is that so important? The thing that you have to know is even if you spend a ton of time engaging with your audience and engaging with potential followers, if you aren't creating content that's worth engaging with, then you're still not going to see an increase in your engagement. If the stuff that you're making is bland or generic or repetitive, people aren't going to be motivated to engage with that. You need to create content that speaks to them in a really honest way. And what that often looks like is being kind of vulnerable and sharing about your weaknesses and sharing about your insecurities. And that's going to not only help you feel more confident, but it's also going to connect with your audience on another level that just makes them trust you more and feel like they know you and like you. And those are the factors that, when combined, are going to lead to a really loyal audience that wants to engage with you. The best way to get engagement is not by asking people to engage or going out and commenting like for like or comment for comment or whatever. The best way to get people to engage with you is to create content that they almost can't help but comment on. It just speaks to them in such a way, or they feel so relatable or so funny or so interesting that they have to respond. The key to getting engagement is making engaging content. Really, the only way to learn how to do this is through practice. You've just got to start putting yourself out there and writing about the things that you wish that you saw more of on Instagram. That's a perfect place to start. If you feel like, oh gosh, nobody in my industry is talking about this, or why does nobody ever post about this reality of life? Share those things, because undoubtedly there are other people like you also wishing there was more of that content on Instagram. And when you start digging into that stuff that nobody else is really talking about, or that you feel like other people aren't being fully honest about, that is the area where you're really gonna start to see engagement. And you don't have to just air out your dirty laundry or say controversial things for no reason. You want to be thoughtful about the kind of content that you're making that does this, but we all have those things that are relatable or kind of under the table and not talked about enough that people are really going to be excited to see you speaking about, and they're going to want to engage with you. That looks different for everybody, so just take some time and ask yourself, what would I like to see more of on Instagram in my niche? And what are some things that everybody else seems to be a little bit too afraid to talk about? If you're brave enough to make content in those areas, then I can promise you, you will see engagement in return. So to review, you want to remember to engage with your existing audience, engage with people that might become your audience, and to share honest, vulnerable, and engaging content. Because like I said, the best way to get engagement is to make content that is worth engaging with. If you found this video helpful, then I bet you would like my video about hacks for growth on Instagram when you have less than 10K followers. So check out that video next. Before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Sign up for Skillshare with a link in my description if you want to learn more creative skills. And as always, I will see you over in this video. Okay, bye.